The arena fell silent as Cragthor's challenge echoed through the crystalline dome. His four arms spread wide, each gripping a weapon from a different conquered world. The Vrexian warrior stood nearly 3 meters tall, his chitinous exoskeleton gleaming under the artificial lights of the Galactic Council's combat stadium. "Is there no one brave enough to fight me?" he roared again, his mandibles clicking with anticipation. The assembled delegates from 47 species shifted uncomfortably in their seats. Cragthor had defeated 17 challengers in the past month, each one a champion of their respective worlds. The Tournament of Valor had become less about honor and more about Vrexian dominance. Every species that fell to Cragthor lost voting rights in the Council for a standard year. The Vrexians were systematically dismantling the democratic foundation of galactic governance, one broken warrior at a time. Anna Reeves sat in the human delegation section, her jaw clenched as she watched the alien warrior parade around the ring. Beside her, Louis Chen reviewed tactical data on his holographic tablet, his fingers dancing across glowing statistics and combat footage. "He's adapted to every fighting style thrown at him," Louis muttered, not looking up from his analysis. The Keltorians tried brute strength. The Silicates used precision strikes. The Phosians attempted swarm tactics with their clone warriors. He countered them all. "There has to be a weakness," Anna replied, her eyes never leaving the arena floor. 23 species have forfeited rather than face him. Humanity's vote comes up in 3 challenges. Louis finally looked at her, concern etched across his face. "Commander Zhao is considering forfeiture. We're a young species in the Council. We can't afford to lose our voice for a year, but we also can't afford to send someone to die." Anna stood abruptly. "We can't afford to do nothing." Before Louis could stop her, she was moving down the aisle toward the arena entrance. Louis scrambled after her, tablet forgotten. "Anna, wait. You're not authorized. Earth accepts the challenge." Anna's voice carried across the stadium as she stepped through the energy barrier and onto the white sand of the arena floor. The crowd erupted in a mixture of gasps and what passed for gasps among species without respiratory systems. Humans were known in the Council, certainly, but they were young, barely 2 generations into galactic society. They had no champions, no legendary warriors. They were scientists, diplomats, traders, not fighters. Cragthor turned, his compound eyes gleaming with what might have been amusement. "A human? Your species is soft, fragile. You have no natural armor, no venomous fangs, no combat instincts honed by evolution. Step aside, small one, before you embarrass your people." Anna walked to the equipment rack, her heart pounding but her hands steady. She selected a simple staff, no blades, no energy weapons. Just a 2-meter rod of carbon composite material. Louis reached the barrier, pressing his hands against the energy field. "Anna, please. We can forfeit." "There's no shame." "Yes, there is," she called back. "There's shame in not trying." The referee, a gaseous being that spoke through a translation matrix, announced the rules. Combat until submission, incapacitation, or death. No restrictions on technique. The victor's species maintains council voting rights. The loser's species loses them for 1 standard year. Anna took her stance, feet shoulder-width apart, staff held loosely in both hands. She had trained in various martial arts since childhood, but that was on Earth against humans. This was different. Cragthor charged without ceremony. His forearms swung in a coordinated pattern that had shattered energy shields and punctured battle armor. Anna didn't try to block. She dove forward, rolling beneath his weapons, and struck upward with her staff. The blow caught the joint where his rear left leg connected to his body. It wasn't powerful enough to damage his exoskeleton, but Cragthor stumbled, surprised. No opponent had ever moved toward him before. "Interesting," the Vrexian growled. "Suicidal, but interesting." What followed was unlike any fight the Council had witnessed. Anna didn't fight like other species. She didn't rely on superior strength or natural weapons. Instead, she was unpredictable. She feinted left and struck right. She dropped her weapon and used her hands. She grabbed sand and threw it at his eyes. She jumped on his back and struck at joints. She rolled away from strikes that should have been unavoidable. Every species in the arena fought according to their evolutionary programming. Predators attacked. Prey species defended. Hive minds coordinated. But humans improvised. Cragthor began to slow, frustrated. His weapons found only air. His overwhelming strength meant nothing if he couldn't connect. And Anna was learning. Each exchange taught her more about his timing, his reach, his patterns. Lewis watched in amazement as Anna did something unprecedented. She made Cragthor miss so badly that he embedded a blade in the arena wall. While he struggled to free it, she struck the back of his knee joint repeatedly until the exoskeleton cracked. The Vrexian roared in pain and fury. He abandoned his weapons and tried to grab her with all four arms. Anna slipped between them like water, striking at joints, at sensor clusters, at anywhere that looked vulnerable. She was bleeding from a dozen cuts, exhausted, gasping for air in the arena's slightly oxygen-thin atmosphere. But she was winning. Cragthor finally understood what he was facing. Not a warrior bred for combat, not a soldier trained from birth, but something far more dangerous, an adaptable persistence hunter who refused to quit. Humans didn't have claws, but they had endurance. They didn't have armor, but they had creativity. They didn't have instincts that made them perfect warriors, but they had the ability to learn, adapt, and persist against impossible odds. Anna struck one final blow to the already cracked knee joint. Cragthor's leg buckled. He crashed to the sand, and Anna's staff was instantly at his throat. "Yield," she gasped. The arena was silent for 3 heartbeats. Then Cragthor's mandibles clicked in what humans would later learn was Vrexian laughter. "I yield, human. Your species. You do not fight like others." "No," Anna agreed, helping him to his feet despite her exhaustion. "We fight to survive, and we never ever give up." As the arena erupted in cacophonous approval, Lewis finally allowed himself to breathe. Commander Zhao was already on the comm, simultaneously relieved and horrified. But across the galaxy, in the ships and stations and worlds that watched the broadcast, a new understanding was forming. Humanity had stepped forward when no one else would. They had no right to win, but they had won anyway. Because sometimes the bravest thing wasn't being strong, it was being willing to try.